On today's episode, we're going to be discussing the life of Martin Luther King Jr. I've heard that we're going to be out of school on Monday, but why is that? Why do we celebrate Martin Luther King Day? We celebrate the life of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. on his birthday to commemorate the many great things that he contributed to American society. Who was Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.? Martin was born on January 15, 1929, in the city of Atlanta, Georgia. In 1948, Martin graduated from college. He wanted to become a minister. Martin was inspired by his father, who is also a minister. He preached the Word of God in church, and Martin wanted to do the same. In 1952, Martin met Coretta Scott. They were married a year later. Coretta would become Martin's best friend and motivator. In 1954, Martin started work at Dexter Avenue Baptist Church in Montgomery, Alabama. There he would serve as the minister. In 1962, Martin had the opportunity to visit the White House that is located in Washington, D.C. It is the home of the President of the United States. Martin was arrested in 1963 at a peaceful protest. He was jailed for 2 weeks. Martin believed that all people were created equal, and he especially wanted to help African Americans win their civil rights. It was his biggest challenge yet. While being jailed for 2 weeks, Martin had a lot to think about. He often thought about how African Americans were not treated equally in the South. They couldn't swim in pools or go to school with white people. They couldn't even drink from the same water fountains. In 1963, Martin spoke at the March on Washington. King and a group of other leaders had decided to organize a march in Washington, D.C. to convince Congress to pass a bill. They hoped 100,000 people would come to Washington. He wanted to support equal rights for African Americans.
I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up and live out the true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal.
Also in 1964, Martin was arrested and jailed for eating at a white-only restaurant. Martin would continue to speak up and speak out for equality for all people. Martin's hard work was not going unnoticed. In 1964, he was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize. In 1965, he led 25,000 people in a march to protest unfair voting laws. And like that, in a flash, Martin Luther King had died. He was killed on April the 4th of 1968 in Memphis, Tennessee. The world was deeply saddened by the death of a civil rights leader. How do we honor the life and legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.? In 1983, a new national holiday honored Dr. King on his birthday. In 2011, the National Memorial to Dr. King in Washington, D.C. opened. Happy birthday, Dr. King. You know, I once heard that if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. Dr. King stood courageously to defend these truths that we hold evident, that all men and women are created equal. Thank you so much, Dr. King. You have truly provided our country with a good example of what peace, love, and understanding looks like. Thanks so much for watching. Feel free to check out our Teachers Pay Teachers store. Follow us on Instagram, like us on Facebook, and check out our Pinterest boards. Hop on over to our YouTube channel where you can find many exciting videos like the one that you have just seen. And check out our blog at www.bowtieguyandwife.com. See you later.